with your new friend Ty.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Tea Party Podcast. It's a podcast where you find new friends and new music. This week I'm joined by a California native who has a song about an F-150, but also has a 54 Chevy panel truck named Lieutenant Dan. And she'll be hitting the stage this weekend at Freedom Jam. Let's welcome to the show, Miss Payton Howie. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I am doing well. It's been a day so far. So glad to wrap it up with chatting with you, and we'll tee off with Payton next.
It's time to tee off with Ty and today's guest, Payton Howie. Here comes the first four.
Okay, Payton, here we go with the first four. We're just going to jump right on into it. If you couldn't have a job in the entertainment industry, what would you do?
Oh, wow. That's a great question. If I had to have a job outside of the entertainment industry, I don't know if I could stay away from the music. I'd probably want to do something within production and music writing or something like that. I think it'd be so fun.
That's a good answer. Some people are just drawn to the industry one way or the other. Right. Okay, if I give you control of the music at a party, what's the first song you're going to play?
Okay, well, it depends on what kind of party it is. If it's like a kickback, we got everyone listening to all different kinds of music, then my go-to is probably some like old school country, probably like some Red Solo Cup or something.
Ooh, okay.
Probably my go-to.
That's a good answer. I like it. That's a song that always gets everybody pumped up. It doesn't matter how many times you've heard the song, everybody is always ready when that one comes on.
Oh, right, for sure. And everyone knows pretty much the chorus. It's pretty simple.
Right. Okay, if you could bring a character alive from a TV show or a movie to hang out with you for a day, who would it be?
That's a great question. Man, if I had to bring somebody from a TV show, like a cartoon character?
Could be a cartoon character, any like fictional character from any show or movie that you watched.
Fictional? Man, that's crazy. I don't know if you've ever watched the movie Walk the Line. Have you ever watched the movie Walk the Line?
Oh, definitely, yes.
Oh my gosh, I love the way that Reese Witherspoon, right? She plays June Carter Cash, and she just like does it so well. And I don't know, I feel like she's almost more June Carter Cash than June is. You know what I'm saying?
Yep, I do.
I love her character. That she just is like so adorable, and she does it so well.
That's a good answer too. You're 3 for 3 here. Okay, last question. If you could have an unlimited supply of anything, tacos, guitar strings, scotch tape, whatever, what would it be?
Okay, so I am probably the biggest In-N-Out Burger fan you're ever gonna meet. So it would have to be In-N-Out Burger, that or guitar picks, because I'm constantly losing them.
I feel like everybody that plays guitar could always use more guitar picks. They're like pens. They always just disappear.
Right, and it's crazy because it's like whenever I do my laundry, because I always put my guitar picks in my front, like left or right pocket, depending on, what I'm doing. And every time I do my laundry and I wash my jeans, there's like 20 guitar picks in the washer.
Well, at least you find them eventually.
Right.
Well, Payton, that was the first four. Thanks for playing along, letting everybody get to know you. But let's pull the curtain back a little bit more. Give everybody kind of the Cliff Notes version of growing up and tell us how you got into music.
So I started playing music, I got my first guitar when I was 16, and I was teaching myself to play and just kind of, playing shows around in my hometown. They had lots of little opportunities like open mics or competitions that I was getting involved in. And, I love playing music. It's always been a part of who I am. But as I was learning to play instruments and perform per se, rather than just playing a song through without stopping, I just started playing more shows and kind of getting out there and just meeting the right people. And since then I've been recording original music, writing stuff, and just putting it out there for the world to hear. And it's been a great opportunity to get to travel all over the country and playing shows and putting together bands in different states and all that. So that's where I'm at now. That's where I've been.
And you kind of hit the ground running when you were 5. You got pulled on stage by Carrie Underwood, which, first off, what was that like?
Honestly, it's an experience I'll never forget, because I was just, I still young, but I can remember everything that that happened, and just seeing the look on everyone's face, and the vibes were good, and everyone was just having a good time, all brought together by music, and all just enjoying something that was revolving around music. And that's kind of something that was new to me. And that, in my mind, kind of took me from wanting to, enjoy music as a hobby and just something that I enjoy to do, and turned it into something where it's like, okay, this is something I'd like to do for the rest of my life, like a career.
Well, and it's one of those really cool memories, and I've got a lot of them from when I was little, but I feel like they've kind of faded a little bit with time as I've gotten older. But I feel like this memory itself has got to be pretty intense, right? It's probably one that you still can picture pretty well.
Oh yeah, it's definitely something that I feel like there's no way I could forget it, and I can still like remember everything that happened and how it went down. And I do get asked about it a lot, which is funny to think about it now, because back in 2005, 6, whenever exactly it was, it's crazy to think, she was pretty big then, but now she's like crazy big,
Yeah, now she's huge. You got on the Carrie Underwood train pretty early.
I know. I was like, I love her Some Hearts album. It was that tour that she was on when I was on stage with her. So it's just crazy to think that still to this day, that's my favorite album she's put out.
And is it true that you didn't start playing guitar until you were 15?
Yeah, I got my first guitar for my 16th birthday, and I started teaching myself to play. And from there, I just kind of started doing it.
How much did that change your kind of the way you look at music and the way that you write songs when you were able to play the guitar and kind of do that by yourself and build the song that way?
It did. It changed my songwriting abilities and my performance abilities, and style, overall style, just so much, because there's just something about it when you learn more about music, as far as, because people can sing and you can just imitate something and not really know what you're doing. But when you really learn music and things about chords and keys and music theory, it just kind of changes everything. And it opens up like a whole new world of creativity and different experimental things to add to original music. And, honestly, now I can't even imagine playing music without playing guitar, because it's just something that I enjoy so much, and I just vibe with it. And it, when I'm performing on stage, it's kind of like a tool for me to kind of express myself when I'm playing.
Well, and when it comes to songwriting, do you have kind of a method to your madness, or does it just kind of come out? Because I know a lot of songwriters that didn't start playing guitar and added it later, they typically start with a melody or something like that first. But what does your process look like?
For me personally, when I'm writing a song, sometimes it's different every time. Sometimes I'll have like a chord progression in my head that's like, oh, that would be cool for a song. Or sometimes it's a melody, and sometimes it's something as simple as just like a hook or like a couple words or just a phrase. And a lot of the times I'll start with like the chorus, because I feel a good song has to be summed up, not has to be, but I feel like a good song can be summed up in a chorus. If you listen to the chorus of the song and it tells you everything that you need to know about it, then I feel like it's a solid chorus,
And that's a really good way to look at it, because obviously songs have all of these different parts, and a lot of them are stories and that sort of thing. But really, when you look down at it, that's kind of the purpose of the chorus, is to sum up everything that's going on in the song, and approaching songwriting from that perspective, where the chorus is the most important part of the song. Right. It's got to lend itself to a little bit more creativity in the other parts.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. And I think, it's different for everybody. Some people like everything has to be done a certain way, but for me, it's kind of whatever comes first.
Well, so then jumping back into kind of the life story of Payton Howie, you got on stage with Carrie Underwood when you were 5. You got your first guitar when you were 16, but then you never really let up. In 2018, you were still in high school, but you were out there winning awards, and including an award as a duo, right?
Yeah, that's true.
So was that something that just kind of came about, or were did you have this kind of, I wanted to be in a duo, or was it something to kind of pass the time until you could be a solo artist?
No, not necessarily. I mean, it was a duo that I did with a friend of mine from high school, and she was she used to sing as well. And we were kind of like, hey, it'd be kind of fun to sing this song together. So we were like, yeah, we could sing it. So we, submitted like ourselves into the competition as a duo. And we never did really much. We never did anything outside of that competition, but it was crazy because it turned out so well. And it was just a total blast to get to do that. But overall, I've pretty much always been a solo artist.
So what was that like when you went out and, you're in high school still, but you're winning these awards? Does that kind of change, I guess, the perception of what it is to be in high school when you're out doing all of these other things and everybody else is at like dances or football games?
I mean, it's kind of an interesting thing to think about, but music is such like a huge part of my life. And thinking back on it now, I didn't really think much of it. I just kind of thought like, hey, this is, I'm going to school, I'm a teenager, I'm in high school, and I'm living my life. And this just happens to be a cool opportunity that I'm getting at the time. And it just kind of happened so fast. If I'm being real, I didn't really see it as something as, oh, look what I'm doing, or, oh, this is what I can do. It's more of something like, wow, I didn't see that coming,
Oh, that makes total sense. So you're still kind of on the younger side of country music. Obviously, there's always kind of this younger group of country artists that come about at the same time. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, especially with as much experience as you have, even just as young as you are. But have you run into any issues in this career field because you're younger, trying to play in certain venues or anything like that?
I've been lucky enough where I haven't had to deal with that too much. There's some people that have their age restrictions as far as venues go. But I personally have never had an issue with it. A lot of the places I've played, I'm lucky. It's like, hey, as long as you ain't drinking nothing, you can go ahead and come on in and play, So I've been pretty lucky with all of that. So not really, not in my case, no.
Nice. Well, and we're coming up on a spot that people can see you out in St. Louis, Freedom Jam coming up this weekend. And you played the event last year. What is it about this event and supporting Operation Triage and everything that they do that drew you back in this year?
I mean, it was such a cool experience last year getting to open up for Walker County. It was like a total blast to get to be a part of that lineup. And especially like the biggest thing for me with Freedom Jam was the cause. I have a huge heart for our veterans and our military and our first responders. And as my career continues to go on and continues to grow, I just take any and every opportunity to give back and use what I have, whether I'm a singer or a painter or a, dog walker, I just want to be able to give back what I have and give back what I can.
Well, and a little birdie told me that along with that, you're going to be on the USO Tour in 2023.
Yeah, that's the plan.
Is that right? That's pretty awesome. How did that happen?
It's so good. I have to say, it's kind of a weird thing in the industry when, you're putting yourself out there on social media, your websites and, things like this, podcast, radio, all that stuff. You put yourself out there and you never know who's listening. So sometimes I just get these emails that are like, hey, I have this opportunity. Would you be interested? And I'm like, I mean, of course I would. I'd be honored. So it just kind of was something where someone within the USO Tour management, they were like, hey, we'd be interested in having you come out now. And I was like, hey, like I'm down. And I guess just because of the cause and the things that I've kind of surrounded my music around, it's kind of just an opportunity that I was lucky enough to have.
Well, and we have a couple of songs here for everybody to take a listen to kind of get to know who you are and what your sound is. And this one kind of falls right in line with all of that. You put it out Memorial Day weekend, and it really kind of sums up, like I said, what we're talking about. It's called Freedom. Give everybody the story behind where this song came from and what the writing process was like.
Yeah, freedom literally is everything that I was just saying. I have a huge heart for our veterans and our military and first responders, and freedom tells a story of exactly that, the sacrifice that, our military makes when they go out there and they're fighting for our freedom. And it's everything from, small time, like, hey, I'm getting to drive my dad's truck for the first time. I just turned 16. Those freedoms. It's freedoms like, getting to go watch football games on Friday night, and all the way up to realizing that we have those freedoms because of the people that are going out there and fighting for it, and the sacrifice that they make and the sacrifice that their families make. And it's just kind of my way of showing appreciation. And, I think especially coming out of the year that we've had in 2020, and even the year that we've, also been having in 2021, it's just like, I wanted to, bring back that American pride and that patriotic feeling.
Well, here, let's let everybody take a listen to it. This one is the newest song from Freedom Jammer Payton Howie. It's called Freedom.
First time driving daddy's old Ford, flying down an old dirt road, burning gas, no place to go, Van Halen on the radio. Touchdowns on Friday nights, sneaking sips of one Coors Light. His jersey fits just right, first kiss, yeah, I just might. Feels like freedom, freedom. Ain't scared of fighting for freedom, freedom. Oh Lord, I'm thankful for colors that don't run. I'm proud of where I'm from. Oh, that feels like freedom, freedom. Signed up birthday 18. He said, will you wait for me? Headed out overseas, oh boy, I wanna be your last taste of freedom, freedom. Ain't scared of fighting for freedom, freedom. Oh Lord, I'm thankful for colors that don't run. I'm proud of where I'm from. Oh, that feels like like freedom, 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 freedom. That feels like freedom, freedom. That feels like freedom, freedom. Ain't scared of fighting for freedom, freedom. Oh Lord, I'm thankful for colors that don't run. I'm proud of where I'm from. Oh, that feels like daddy's old Ford.
And that one was called Freedom by Freedom Jammer Payton Howie. You can see her this weekend coming up just outside of St. Louis. Check the description of this episode to get your tickets. They're still on sale, but they're going fast, and it's definitely something that you're not going to want to miss out on. But Payton, I want to pivot a little bit because you are a pretty big fan of cars, and I want you to tell us about this 54 Chevy.
Oh man, you're see, it's been a while. Honestly, we don't have that no more. That was a long time ago.
Oh no.
It's funny. That was actually a gift from somebody. And it just kind of, I was trying to remember when you said that. I was like, when did I say that? But yeah, no, now that I remember it, yeah, we had that a while back, and it was really cool. I was driving around. We were considering turning it into a tour bus.
That would have been maybe the world's coolest tour bus.
That would have been so cool. Yeah, we had that back when I was living out in California, but since I've moved and things like that, we don't have it no more.
Well, and a lot of people have very strong opinions between Chevy, Ford, Dodge, GMC, whatever. But you had a super cool Chevy, but you have a song called F-150. I assume that you're a Ford fan?
I am. Yeah. I currently drive an F-150, that's kind of, you got to stay true. But, yeah, I mean, that was kind of the thing when I wrote that song, and I just kind of, I loved the idea of it. I loved the I don't know, it was kind of catchy. It kind of had like a little bit of a hook to it. And, yeah, I wrote that back when I was 16, when I first started driving, and I was, doing my thing, driving my truck.
Well, my next question was going to be which one came first, the truck or the song. But if you wrote that when you were 16, then definitely the song came first.
Well, actually, no, the truck came first.
Oh, did it?
I wrote it in my truck. Yeah.
Oh, well, dang, look at that. I am way off. Okay. Was that kind of the inspiration behind it, was the actual truck?
Well, yeah. And I mean, I guess the inspiration behind the story of the song was kind of like, everybody has that thing when you're, down about something, you have something on your mind, or something's going wrong, and you just have that thing that you go and you do to get your mind off it, or to just blow off some steam. And for me, what I would do, I would go out and get in my truck, and I'd go like tear up some dirt fields by my house. And that was just my favorite thing to do back then. And so I was like in my truck around like 3 a.m. one time, and it was around Christmas time actually. And I wrote that song, and I recorded it and put it out.
Well, it seems to have done pretty well for you. And we have another song for everybody here. It's called Never Be Home. Give us the story behind this one.
So that's going to be coming out very, very soon. It's coming out on Friday. This one's called Never Go Home. And it's a total party song. And the whole like line of it is, the party don't stop if we never go home. And I put it out at the end of the summer, like I've done, because everyone's like, oh, back to school, back to work, whatever. And I'm like, actually, no, the party don't stop if we never go home. And when we were sitting down writing this song, it was just like looking back at coming out of COVID and things like that, we were taking for granted, like the times that we have with our friends and our families, just getting to throw parties and have a good time. And, now that it was kind of back to it, live music is back and everyone's just partying, having a good time. And the song's exactly what it sounds like. So.
Well, here, let's let everybody take a listen to it. It's new music from Payton Howie. It's called Never Go Home.
I ain't no quitter, baby. Mama raised me better. Oh. I'm here to party, yeah. It's time to get it started. Let's go.
one, brand new music coming out Friday, right before she hits the stage at Freedom Jam this weekend. It's called Never Go Home by Payton Howie. And Payton, it has been an absolute blast having you on here. I can't wait to meet you in St. Louis and see you up there on that stage. But before we let you go, we end every podcast the same way. It's called The Final Four, pretty close to the same way we started. Just a couple of questions that make you think. You up for it?
I'm ready.
It's time for the Final Four.
Okay, here we go. Question number one. What's your favorite venue that you've ever played in?
My favorite venue? I would have to say, just recently I was up in Austin, Texas. I played at Austin City Limits Moody Theater. It was crazy. It was so much fun. We totally sold it out. It was like 2,500 people, and it was super cool. And we were up there for the Taco Margarita Festival. And I was up there with Bree Bagwell, and it was just a huge blast. Like everyone was, having a good time, and they were all dressed up real funny, and it was a blast.
That sounds like a good time. How about this one? Who are your 3 most recently played artists on your Spotify?
That's a great question.
That's okay.
I know for sure it's going to be Parker McCollum, Morgan Wallen, and I'm going to guess either Ashley McBride or Reba.
Ooh, okay. All 4 of those very solid quality answers.
There you go.
Okay. For this one, when you're out on the road trip or touring or whatever, what's the one restaurant that you have to stop at that's not In-N-Out?
Oh, come on. You took my answer, man. What the heck? All right. That's crazy. When I'm going out, it's crazy because all over the place, some restaurants are around and some restaurants aren't. But one thing that you can always depend on is you go to a gas station and you get yourself some energy drinks. That is one place I always have to.
Okay.
One thing I always have to do. You know what I'm saying?
you gotta get your energy drink.
Yes, Bang is live. Bang energy drinks are my favorite, and they're probably not very good for you. So,
I mean, I don't think any of them are, but I think of all of them, Bang might be the least terrible for you.
Yeah, that's about it. The least terrible.
Okay, here we go, Payton. One more question. If you could pick one thing for people to take away from your appearance on this podcast or from your music in general, what would it be?
Honestly, I just my goal as an artist, as a songwriter is I want to write songs and put out music that people connect with and that they feel and that they can listen to and be like, oh, that's my song, And I'm so thankful for people that are listening to my music and just being supportive. And so thank you if you are listening to it. And I hope y'all can vibe with my stuff.
Payton, thank you so much for jumping on here. Excited to see you at Freedom Jam. We'll have to sit down there and chat a little bit there as well.
Awesome. Thanks so much for having me.
Absolutely. And guys, that was another episode of the Tea Party Podcast. It's a country music podcast where you find new friends and new music like Freedom Jammer Payton Howie and her new song, Never Go Home.
Go tee off on the like button at facebook.com/Tea Party Podcast. This has been a Tea Party Communications production. Theme music created by Jesse Quandt. Announcer voiceovers by Jay Gwinn. And as always, hosted by Pisani.